Blessing is the response from God to the obedience. Here it is blessing of healing. Deuteronomy 11:27 says, "See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey the commands of the Lord your God." So, what is the key message coming from these lines in this passage? Obedience is followed by blessing. Here it was for healing for all the lepers. It didn't matter who were Jews or who were Samaritan. Now, let's move forward and see what happens next. So, we got obedience, we got blessings. The next section is where the turning point for the whole passage. So if we read 15 times 16, it says, "And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back and with a loud voice glorified God." Later on it says in the 16 that he was a Samaritan. The most obvious theme coming out of this is the theme of thankfulness. 10 people are healed. Only one returned to thank. 9 go their own way, maybe in a hurry to experience the benefits of healing, seeing their family reintegrating into society, entering the town. Only one shows thanks. I asked you the question in the beginning that our pastor gave a beautiful message last Sunday of being thankful. Please check the message, it's very encouraging and it's there in the church site if you have missed it. But that message as well says that being thankful is the right thing and we ought to be thankful and grateful to God. First Thessalonians 5:18 says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." An elderly woman walked into the local church. The friendly usher greeted her at the door and helped her flight of the steps. Usher asked, "Where would you like to sit?" "The front row, please," the woman answered amiably. The usher said, "You really don't want to do that. That speaker today is really boring." "Son, do you happen to know who I am?" she inquired, looking directly at him. He replied, "No." "I am the speaker's mother," she announced furiously. To which the usher asked, "Do you know who I am?" "No," she said. "Thank God," he answered and vanished from there. And if my guess is correct, the usher was Josh and possibly about me. But the usher didn't give, but the point to take it out, usher did give thanks in it to make my point. But the questions we have, how thankful are we in our lives for the blessings we have? Or may I ask, do we realize how unthankful we have become? If you observe, there is a typical human behavior coming out. And the irony is, in fact, suffering unites people. Whereas prosperity, either by blessing or whatever, it divides people. In those days, Jews had a racial discrimination towards Samaritan. And in John 8:48, if you read it, it gives, it says, Jews answered him. Him is Jesus. In fact, Jews were accusing Jesus. "Aren't we right in saying that you are a Samaritan and demon possessed?" And that's how they are trying to accuse him. Samaritan and demon-possessed. Clearly, don't seem to see Samaritan in very high esteem or good light. But still, if you notice here, when the Jews and Samaritan were lepers, that is sufferers, all 10 were united together. There were no separate sayings. They all were together, shouting, "Have mercy on us." But the moment they were healed, the Samaritan looks to be looked as different, and Jews, all the 9, they all, whether they are gone separately, different, but there is a divide between Samaritan and Jews. They are now not here. Either the superiority of Jews or water complex. Once they are back to normal, it's different. Division starts as prosperity begins. And we live in an era when most of the people in developed nations have an attitude of entitlement and feel that we ought to get what we deserve or what we should have. They take blessings as granted. We believe that everything is supposed to go our way. A good income is a right, it's not a blessing. Health and happiness are standard expectations. And if we don't have them, we express displeasure. In general, we have a glaring lack of gratitude for the scores of blessings we have. When suffering came during World War II, whole community used to suffer. Somebody would have lost someone in their families. People used to be very coordinated to share their food, meals, help each other. But on the contrary, as prosperity, a good time comes, it makes people more independent and less dependent on others. We move from crowded place, move to a beautiful house, big house. And then the divide starts between have and have-nots. Whereas strata and the society start developing. In India, my parents, they used to stay in the town where I grew up. Every neighborhood in the whole area, they used to know each other. And we used to help. Later on, after my study, when I went to work in a city, it was a big city, then I bought a flat in an apartment. In the age of Wi-Fi, internet connectivity, all the world is, we have phone, everything. But we didn't know who used to stay next door. Because we go morning, come back, do our work, go morning, come back. So I'm trying to show how when the prosperity, a certain thing comes, it starts dividing the other aspect of it.